welcome to the 201th episode of the Otafest podcast.
Wow!
I am one of several delightful hosts, Nancy, and that's Jay, and that's Angelo, and that's Dio.
Wow!
Wait, which one's Angelo?
I think
That one.
I
The
think
one that's
me.
not Nancy, but it could be Dio.
Maybe that one is the other one.
Oh, you mean this one?
yeah,
that one,
Yeah, I
yes.
think that one. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think
For the
that
podcast. For the podcast,
I think.
specifically, though.
maybe.
Yes.
This is
The
episode 201.
Unoth.
201th.
Yeah.
We have twice as many hosts as the 200th episode.
Let's go.
Is this
As it
episode
should be.
400?
Let's go.
By episode 300, we'll have a lot more hosts.
No. By episode 300, you'll have 4 hosts, and then
No,
on episode
if we go at
300,
this-
and then on episode 301, that's when you have 8 hosts.
I'm pretty sure if we
God.
keep getting more hosts at this rate, every person in the world will be hosting in 32 episodes.
Let's go.
Let's go.
At
It's
one
the
point, the
worldwide
audience becomes the
international.
hosts.
It's true. It's the worldwide international Otafest podcast.
Oh, God.
Yes. Indeed.
Maybe the real
hope not.
Otafest podcast was the friends we made along the way.
But then I'll be out of
podcast is
a
real.
job. This isn't a job.
It's
How
about
does
to
anyone
be.
make money
Get
off
back
of this?
to work.
I can't wait for Otafest to become the worldwide single-day hosted podcast.
True.
Please.
Bro, Guinness World
Please.
Records for biggest podcast.
Everyone gets to edit 1/10 of a second of the episode.
True, you do it like those AMVs, those group AMVs where
Yeah.
you like take a song and you cut it up. Instead, it's everybody gets a
God.
small, tiny chunk of the podcast.
Like,
to
I know
edit.
that you get like a really tiny chunk, so technically it shouldn't matter. But let's be honest. If like
Those
if
are the best because
almost
they're
8
janky.
billion people, like if we took, let's say, 1 hour podcast and 8 billion people each got their little slice.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of them won't even touch it, which is fine. But the ones that do, there's going to be so many like tiny bits of jank in every
It's gonna
waveform.
that's the best part. Like, have you ever seen those group animations where they're like, we're gonna take an episode of The Simpsons or like an episode of like an
God.
anime, and we cut it up, and each animator does like a couple of seconds, and you just
Yes,
jam it all
yeah.
together, and it's always a little bit janky because
But like,
that's the
I think
best part.
that's like. I
That's-
think that's fun if you understand going into it and there's like a visual
Right?
element
Like-
that you can still like have your brain like make the connection to between each
That's the
altered
char-
frame.
right, like,
but I
that's
think
the charm.
audio wise, it would just be like,
It would be a disaster.
Welcome
I'm pretty sure it would sound like
next
static.
episode.
It would be amazing.
my
Everyone
waveform
would
is
use
so
different
messed
filters.
up just by doing that, by the way.
Please don't hurt
Nice.
yourself. As a
Nice.
voice acting teacher, I must impress upon you the importance of taking care of your voice and throat.
I take care of
Especially
my voice
the
and my
voice.
throat every day by drinking pureed Carolina Reapers.
Yum. I love just destroying my esophagus. That's a fun way to treat it.
I'm internally
I
cringing right
have
now.
nothing to say other than I was sick for the last couple of days. I am not. I don't think I'm sick now, but I can't really tell. I don't feel really ill, but it was like a very light illness to begin with. It was just that I was coughing a lot, and I could feel like muke building in like the
Ooh.
throat area. You know?
Delightful.
Oh, that nice phlegmy mucus.
Yeah. But
The
then
really thick stuff.
yesterday, I was like, as you do when you're ill, you want to feel better, and you could turn to like the illness foods. Not to say like, so everyone has like different illness foods. Mine tend to be like soups, stews, congee, and then something spicy.
Yeah.
So yesterday I had congee with like Thai braised beef flank. So it was like not too spicy, but like medium spice. And it was just like, you got to clear the system, get that muke out, get the, no, I don't know if I coughed very much after I had that. And that was like at lunchtime.
Yeah.
I was like,
A good
Nice.
level
You've
of
been
spicy
defeated.
helps. A good level of spicy helps clear out the sinuses, I find.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, it's really good for
100%.
that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like having like pho is really good for that too.
Especially because like
Mhm.
the bone broth is just so like rich and it warms
If
you
you
from
get
the
a good
inside.
satay sauce on it,
Oh,
yeah,
yummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
clears you
So-
out right.
Yeah, my get well food has always been like, so my mom grew up with Jamaican herbal remedies, and so as a result I grew up with Jamaican herbal remedies. And so for me, ginger is always like food with ginger. So like, some ginger beef, because of course, we're Calgarians now, so ginger beef is always good, but also like ginger tea was always good, and rum. Oh my god, so much rum was used growing up. Not for drinking, for applying.
Oh,
For applying.
Yes.
I've had that done before.
Yeah.
It's like a really weird kind of burn.
Yeah,
What does that mean?
It's like okay,
using rum as like a rubbing alcohol.
yeah,
basically.
well, no, it's more like
Oh.
like how you apply
No.
like a menthol, like a Vicks Vapo rub, like a
Oh, yeah.
menthol rub.
100%.
That, but instead of that, it's with like overproof 65% alcohol white rum.
Yep.
So you smell like hell, but it absolutely just
Gonna
like
say.
it blasts the ever loving heck out of your sinuses, like
Hey, not only are you ill, you get to smell like
like alcohol.
Like a walking
Alcohol, yeah.
distillery.
Yeah.
great.
But
Good
that
job.
was the thing. So like I always remember whenever I could tell when my mom was sick, because if my mom was sick, she would come home and she would write on her chest and on her neck, and on her back and shoulders. That's where she would rub white rum, and she would go to bed. And she would go to bed in her bedroom. My parents' room was always on the top floor at the back of the house, and you would walk in the front door and you could smell it.
Okay.
Dang.
Okay. I'm not discounting like what you're saying about that as a remedy. What I'm saying is, so that's like, like traditional
It's
medicine of
traditional
any kind.
herbal medicine where it's a little it's a little sus.
What it sounds like is that like 100 years ago,
Yeah.
some dude got blasted,
Yeah.
stumbled home, like after a party or whatever, and
Yep.
his spouse was like, "Excuse me, why do you smell like alcohol coming into the house?" And he's just like, "I'm sick." And did anything he could to be like, "Yes, this is the way to be unsick. I smell like alcohol because I'm trying to become well."
Yeah, and that's why I'm covered in all this really overproofed rum.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm
no.
not saying it doesn't work. I just think that there's more to the
There's
story.
definitely more to the story, and my whole thing is, listen, I would rather, instead of applying it, I'd rather drink a little bit of it instead. It
That's-
might not make me. It might not actually help me feel like it might not actually help with my illness, but it will make me feel better.
You got to get that, what is it called? What is it called? The placebo effect going on.
Yeah.
You use alcohol to sterilize things, so you drink a little bit of alcohol to
To
sterilize,
sterilize
the,
your insides.
the
Yeah,
sickness
That's
out
what
of you.
capsaicin is for.
True.
That too.
sure.
Just combine it. Just have
Uh-huh.
capsaicin,
Clearly, if it
alcohol,
burns your mouth.
ginger, and then put it in some congee, and then you're good to go.
I'm pretty sure that's how Bloody Mary was invented.
That's
You just
awful.
reminded me of Fire Brandy.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Also, complete 180, but I had to figure out, if we did actually do a 60-minute podcast, I mean, everyone in the world edit it, each person would get 450 nanoseconds. Each. to edit.
I would, and the worst part is, again, like by
It would
itself,
still be a mess.
you probably would not notice. Like if someone edited 450 nanoseconds of this podcast, you would not notice. But again, if
Over
the
the
entire episode consisted of people editing their 450 nanoseconds, it bad.
It would be really
It
bad.
would sound
Not
really
only that,
strange.
you'd be editing 4.5 nanoseconds
No, that's 450 nanoseconds or 0.45 of a microsecond.
Yeah, but you'd be doing that times 8 billion.
Yeah.
And you
I
know,
would
it'd
hate
be
to be
like
the person
billion tracks.
stitching all of that together.
And then, it'd be like any other group project where you're just like, hey, I already finished my 450 nanoseconds. Where's yours?
your
It's
part?
due by Monday.
And then one person's exported theirs, and it's like it's perfect. And
Mike,
the other,
Absolutely.
from
the other-
Canmore, we've been waiting for you for over a week now.
Yeah. Come on. It's just 450 nanoseconds.
How long could it take you to edit it?
I can't wait for like the PSA videos from Seth. Have you done your 450 nanoseconds? Because we are waiting.
We
Oh,
need you
God.
for the Otafest podcast.
I would, as like, I do not want to be the project manager for it.
Yeah,
No,
I wouldn't
that
want to be
would
that
be
project manager.
Love
hellish.
to hear the results just
Exactly.
because of how bad
janky it would be.
be.
I want to hear that. Like, I guarantee you
God.
there'd be a portion of it where by accident we're just all speaking Simlish, and like there's a portion of it that's just deep fried to all hell and back for no apparent
Yeah.
reason. It's been exported through a toaster. Like, oh,
The crispiest toast you could ever get
yes.
on an audio export.
Oh, that would be so nice. But now
It
my
would be-
curiosity is sated. Now I know how
You know
much
somebody
time.
with just like max volume, their 450
Yes,
milliseconds.
exactly. So there'd just be a like
A few
weird.
moments where we're like,
Yep.
you're like, okay.
Again, I would hate to be the person having to string it all together.
Indeed, that would be a
Not gonna be a
special
good
kind
time.
of torture.
Mm-mm.
Podcast.
Ugh.
Indeed.
Welcome to it.
Podcast hell.
Speaking of
of
hell,
special kinds of
of hell.
torture.
Yeah.
Black Friday
Speaking
shopping.
of special kinds of hell.
Black Friday shopping, spending money, doing your capitalist due diligence, and treating yourself.
I unintentionally went to a mall on Black Friday.
You
Because I forgot about
intentionally
it.
did this?
No, I forgot that Black Friday existed.
Oh no!
Unintentionally, yeah.
Oh,
I went to
no.
so first of all, I will say that the mall I went to was the Core. So it's actually not the
Not so
busiest
bad.
mall we have.
The core is downtown, yeah. So it's not.
Like,
it's not.
it's actually-
too busy.
As weird as it is, because like it was on a Friday, so it's a working day, and it's the middle of the day. It was actually running around lunchtime, but it was regular traffic. I think people kind of didn't care.
Yeah. The other thing is, I think when I think of like the core is very boutiquey and also very high end. So like,
A lot of stores tend to be high end. Like there are your standard like
yeah, you do have some of your
staple stores,
standard fare
and-
stuff,
but all of the what do they call it? Like the types of stores that are there.
luxury.
No, not just like the luxury, but like you know how they're called like stores that are basically anchor stores or something like
Yeah,
that.
anchor stores.
Like all of their anchor stores are like
big boutique luxury stores,
exactly.
right? It's not like it's not your Best Buys, it's not your the
Walmart.
Bay or your Walmart or like
Exactly.
other stuff like that. It's
But
very,
I mean,
it's very much like Holt Renfrew, which has Gucci and Chanel,
Yeah.
and like the thing is, you could go to Chanel on a Black Friday sale, and it's like, are you gonna, instead of spending like $2,500 on a wallet, you're gonna spend $2,300 on a wallet? Where
Exactly.
if you
Ooh,
have
that's savings.
if you
Yeah,
have
like
that enough
they have like the
if-
Rolex store and all that kind
and
of
stuff like
too.
that, and it's kind of like,
Yeah.
well, if you have $2,300 to spend on like a wallet, you probably have $2,500 to spend on a wallet, so you don't really care if it's a Black Friday
So-
deal, but you might still want to take. There's a handful of people I think who would still want to take advantage of that.
I have two things I want to point out real quick. One thing is that like I said, I went unintentionally because I was meeting friends up for like lunch, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, well, like I'm gonna meet my friends up for lunch.
Right,
Not a
and the
big deal.
core is an easy place to go.
Yeah,
Tons of food.
Totally forgot that was Black Friday, but thankfully it wasn't busy. And I actually did end up buying stuff that I had
Nice.
no. It was like gift stuff that I'm.
What'd you get? What'd you get? What'd you get? What'd you get?
Well,
Why
I
can't
guess
tell
you
us?
can't tell us because it's gifts. It's gifts for
You
people.
can't tell
It's
us.
gifts.
You don't know.
Jay did
who's-
his Christmas shopping.
You
so-
don't know which one of the 8 billion people may be listening.
Indeed.
That they might spill the beans
On their present.
But it was mostly stuff for nerds
Yeah.
because it turns out most of my friends are nerds.
Indeed. What a shocker.
It's the
That
worst.
sounds right.
Yeah. But the second part about that luxury thing,
Yeah.
and this would possibly be intriguing to any of us here, except I think most of us already have one.
Uh-huh.
I've been getting emails from Herman Miller about their Black Friday sale.
Wow.
They're actually having the biggest sale I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
25% off. So like
Which
your
is a big
$2,000
deal.
That's like
chair
$500
is like
off.
yeah. Like
yeah.
a $2,200 chair is now $1,300 or $1,400.
Which is
It's
a
like
pretty good steal. It's not going to get any cheaper than that.
it is, and
I'm
you still
just
get the
gonna
full
go to
benefits of
the-
like the warranty
The
and everything. I
full,
was just
like,
like,
lifetime warranty, high quality stuff. Yeah,
Exactly.
I think a lot of us are sitting on Herman Miller's. One of the best investments I ever made in a chair. They really should sponsor me. The amount of people I've convinced to buy these darn chairs. Like, where's my sponsorship, Herman Miller? Call me back.
I'm sitting on a $5 piano stool.
Yeah, that's because you're. Yeah.
made by Herman Miller.
I'm sitting on an old office chair that I skimmed from my dad that he got for free.
Nice.
I'm definitely a little bit overdue for a chair, so I'm just gonna go to the Herman Miller site and see.
And
what's
just check
going
out what's
on.
good for you. Yeah.
And people,
Hey.
new listeners who haven't heard about the whole Herman Miller thing might be like, why are you guys shilling for a chair? It's like, well, first of all, they're definitely not a sponsor. But my God.
Yeah.
I wish
If
they
you
were.
my God.
spend time at home in front of your computer for significant periods of time, and you're tired of going through like crappy chairs over and
back
over
pain.
and over again,
Get a good chair.
you get a good chair.
Yeah.
It doesn't
It's
have to be a
especially-
Hermy Millie.
But a Hermy
But it
Millie
could
is an
be.
example of a good chair. And that's
Yeah.
here's the only piece of adult life advice that is meaningful. There are 3 things in life that you don't skimp on. Your mattress, your chair, and your shoes.
True.
Yeah,
These things are important.
Those are the
When
3
I find
things.
I,
good shoes,
for
I think I've said
one-
this before. When I find like a good pair of shoes that I like, usually like runners or whatever, I am the type of person who buys like
A second
3
pair.
pairs.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
least to have as a backup.
I got myself some new boots.
Yeah, that's right. You did.
You got boots.
Yeah,
I-
boots.
I remember explicitly complaining on the last episode that there were no good boot deals. I
Where'd you
feel
get
like
your boots?
the instant that we stopped recording, a pair of boots that I'd been keeping in my bookmarks for like 3
Manifested.
weeks went on sale.
Nice.
Wow.
So
Let's go.
I was looking at a few different pairs between Marks and the shoe company, and
Right.
Marks was the one who won. My ultimate budget was around $180 to $200, and these nice looking $180 boots, they went on a Black Friday deal for $120. Cannot.
I'm
argue
really
with that.
happy that you got those man Uggs that you were looking for.
Are
You
they
gotta get-
actually man Uggs?
Good
I
Lord,
need to
no.
see these.
Yes.
Wait. I'm being given expectations here. now I
Yes,
need
we'll
to
have
know.
to show
I
Nancy
would love
the
to
They're
shoes.
see.
just-
I would love to see Angelo in man Uggs.
It would be cute.
They are just some nice looking waterproof faux suede hiking boots.
Are they
Yep.
Timbies?
No. They're just black boots.
Yep.
I
I
need
am
to get boots. Actually,
I am similar to Angelo, where I like to, if I want a purchase or I want to purchase something, I usually put it in a bookmark or a shopping cart or a wish list for later.
Mhm.
So I had set up my sort of like Black Friday haul of things that I wanted to get. Basically, it's like these are my Christmas presents to myself. Versus like the gifts that I give for other people. So I had put together my list of the things that I wanted to get myself for Black Friday. One of them was a Sony lens for my DSLR. that I had been eyeing for many years. I had been eyeing this lens, and I had kind of skirted around it because the cost was like, camera lenses are always expensive. So I was like, I don't know if I want to spend this much money. Like, maybe I can, get what I ended up doing for a long time was I had a cheaper version of the same lens that didn't have things like built-in autofocus and stuff like that. But I was like, this year I was like, okay, I'm planning to go on a big trip next year. I want to be able to take lots of really nice photo and video. I don't want to have to carry a bunch of lenses around. I'm going to get the one lens that I've really wanted that is like the most versatile for what I want to use it for. So I got myself that. It was on a whopping 6% deal. So I saved my taxes. I saved my I saved slightly.
taxes.
Yeah, I saved.
You beat the man.
I saved my taxes on it, which is like, you know what? I'll take that. So I got that. And then the other thing that I got myself was I've been a big fan. It's all photography equipment because of course it is. I've used the Instax camera for a long time, but I don't enjoy carrying the bulk of the actual physical camera around and changing the batteries and stuff. It was fun. The novelty of it was fine. I really like the photos. I still love the photos and having the photos, but I was not a big fan of carrying the bulk of the actual physical camera around, because it often meant that I was carrying, like, if you include my phone, 3 cameras around, like when I would go to a convention and stuff, because I have my DSLR, my cell phone, and then the Instax camera, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I finally bit the bullet. I bought the Instax printer, which uses the Instax film, but instead you can use like photos that you've taken on your phone. Yeah, your smartphone.
Yeah.
So I
think Jenny has that.
Yeah, and that's
it's a
she
smart.
does. It's a smart. And so that was the thing. I saw Jenny used it at Yokai Walk, or Yokai Watch rather, and she had used it. Walk. It was
watches
Walk.
is the
watches the show. Watches the anime. Darn it. Okay, at Yokai Walk.
You had it right.
I had it right the first time. So she had it for the cosplay contest to take photos of all of the entrants. And I was like, oh, I do really like this, especially because when you use a smartphone, you do get a little bit more control over the lighting and what the image looks like before you print it out. But then when you print it out on the Instax film, you still kind of get that nice nostalgic instant photo.
It's the lo-fi photo.
Yeah, exactly. Like you get
high-fi situation.
You get the lo-fi. Exactly. Yeah. It's very satisfying. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna bite the bullet and get one of those. So I got that, and the last piece that I wanted to get to complete it was I wanted to get a piece of external storage, because I have tons of photos. Everything from cosplay photos to family photos that I've been archiving to personal photos and, like, of course, all kinds of documents and stuff. And right now I have tons of storage on my PC, but it's all stored on my PC. Some of it I have, like, backed up to the cloud. Like, anything truly essential, if every single drive on my PC were to just die today, I would be able to get all the important stuff back. But it would be a process that I might not want to go through for some things. So I was like, I would like to have a piece of external storage, like an external SSD, so that I can bulk store that stuff, and it's in a drawer just in case, or if I ever need, like, a way to transfer files while I'm, like, out and about, like if I'm traveling or something and I don't have a big computer with me, I would have that as an option too. I wanted to buy it from Memex, but their website checkout didn't work, and I specifically didn't.
Oh no!
I didn't want to go to the store, obviously, because it's going to be really busy and you're going to have to wait in line. Like, I wanted to take advantage of the online website to just check out. And it was working, but I couldn't get to the credit card section of the page, the section where you put in your credit card information.
Please take my money. I've made my decisions.
Like, let me give you my money.
That's gotta be the worst.
I just want to give you my money, and I couldn't do it. So that's the one thing I didn't get. But otherwise, my Black Friday shopping was very successful. I did a very nice treat myself.
I feel like I feel like since NCIX went under, Memory Express has kind of been slipping.
What's
Mhm.
NCIX?
It
It
used
was
to be
another
one of the
online
largest
like computer peripherals vendor.
Oh.
Uh, but having that
What do
said,
you mean it
the
went
Black
under?
Friday and Boxing Day experience for Memex has always been awful.
Yeah, it's always been a bit rough.
Like, the
Really?
thing that I like about Black Friday shopping, when you go into the store, I like browsing everything, checking everything, seeing the different deals that are there, and just being able to like browse and get things that I never thought that I even wanted. Whereas when I go into Memory Express, if I've ever gone to the store on a Black Friday or on a Boxing Day, it's completely different. You don't get to browse.
Yeah.
You go into a line, you get up to the counter, you tell the
True.
person what they want, and they get it for you.
and you check
Yeah.
out.
And while that very much streamlines the process, it really does.
It is a little bit unfun. Like it's
not
not a
fun.
very nice experience.
It's utilitarian shopping.
Yeah, it is. And like it makes sense for why they do it on those 2 days because those are the busiest days of the season, right? That's when
But I would
people are
also say-
coming in for very specific deals. But
Like,
I
if you're doing,
enjoy
like-
the browsing aspect.
If you're doing like computer parts, for example, people who buy computer parts, generally speaking,
Know
and
what
I'm
they
saying
want.
parts, not like
Not
pre-built
peripherals.
or something like
Yeah.
that, where
Yeah.
you might want to look at something else.
Like people who are coming for a specific part.
Yeah,
I am coming
they
for
know
a
one of
motherboard.
like 3 things that they came in for.
Yeah.
And they're only going like the other 2 are just backups to
Yeah,
the one
exactly.
that they hope to get.
It's I want this thing, and if I can't have this thing, then I have backup A and backup B.
But beyond
Yeah.
even that, at Memory Express these days, basically everything that isn't a $5 or a $10 adapter of some sort is behind glass. I went in there a couple weeks ago. I just needed the cheapest wireless keyboard and mouse set they had. I needed a $30 keyboard and mouse set. It was behind glass. So I had to
I
go
mean-
walk up to the guy. I had to be like, hey, there's a Logitech keyboard and mouse over there. It's $30. I want that one. So it took twice as long as it needed to. Who's stealing $30 keyboards? Seriously.
you Alex,
The
you
same
will?
dude, there are people like
same-
what is it? I think it's like razors and like stuff in like cosmetic aisles that they always keep behind
Yeah,
like lock and
people-
key.
if
Like it's
if
people
it's small.
people be stealing friggin' electric toothbrushes.
Yeah.
And that's why they have
Yeah,
to keep
but those
under
are
lock and key.
small packages. A keyboard and mouse package is still like a foot and a half
Oh, of
long.
course.
by,
It's
like,
not
8
about
inches wide.
you think
It's not
you
about
think
size.
stealing. You think stealing is about concealing? No, stealing is about like taking it and getting
and
the
just
heck
leave.
out.
Like you pick it
Yeah,
up in
dude.
your hand and you just walk out. Like it's
Yeah.
not about hiding it ever. It's
Ugh.
not about being subtle.
But it just
I just
It's
learned
just-
something as someone who's never shoplifted in her life. Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
You're
not
welcome.
fun.
indeed, it's not like this throws me back. We went to
It's
Canadian
not
Tire.
as fun going to Memory Express these days.
That is true. It's not as fun. But I will say, like the experience of having everything like small or large being behind screens is now becoming more commonplace. Just everywhere, unfortunately. Like, for example, I mean, coming back to it's not about size when people shoplift. I went to Canadian Tire one day and I just saw, there was a dude just shoving stuff in a duffel bag, like just literally running down the shelves and then
Nice.
just booked it for the door and
Yeah.
just left. And it's like, yep, that's how people shoplift. And like, yes,
Yeah,
it
this is
triggered-
not some like carefully orchestrated 11-part heist.
It's a grab
It
and
is-
go.
Yeah, it's literally that thing, that thing, that thing. They didn't even look at it. They
just-
targeted the first thing that they
that
like
is
knew they
within
wanted to
reach.
take, and then everything else was just like
shoved in
and
a
then go.
bag, shoved in a coat bucket, shoved in your car, in your arms,
Yeah.
out the door. Which is unfortunate. But I will agree, shopping at Memory Express isn't quite as fun as it used to be. Like, it used to be fun to go in for I will admit, I used to enjoy going in, like, maybe for a specific part, like a new graphics card or a new mouse. But then also browsing and looking at what some of their pre-builds look like and, sitting in the gamer chairs and then maybe going and browsing through some of the peripherals and picking out some extra cables and this, that, and the other thing. And now it's a much more streamlined experience, which is it's not as fun for a browsing and exploring type of experience, yes, but it is really good for the utilitarian shopper where you can get in and you can get what you need and you can get out, and that does.
I would say it's less streamlined because you have to know what you want going into the store.
Sorry, I should say it's not streamlined for the customer, it's streamlined for the sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's very much like, I can give you what you ask me for a thing, I can give it to you, and you can move on and make room for the next customer. It is what it is. It is what it is. So no longer a place to shop for, not really an easy place to shop for like nerdy stocking stuffers.
Oh, she's
there we
having-
go.
Yep.
Hold on, Dio's brain
She
needed a
glitched
really
out.
quick
Dio.exe.
reboot there.
Rebooting.
Dio.exe has stopped responding.
Beep boop, beep boop.
What is Task Manager for human?
Coffee. Sleep.
Mm,
No, sleep is just sleep mode. The human reset button is like, it's walking into like a sliding glass door.
Just like an
Yes.
absolute surprise. Kind
Yeah,
of thing.
exactly.
Gotcha.
Or like having a flash, like accidentally turning on your flashlight on your phone in the dark.
Mhm.
That's a human reset. Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
Speaking of stocking stuffers, oh no, this is a new tongue twister for Dio.
Challenge.
Yeah. How do you guys like to stuff stockings? How do you like to
I have never
give gifts
stocked
to
a s-
people?
I've never stuffed a stocking in my life.
Fair
I've
enough.
only ever done it if it's in a household where you are participating in their holiday event
Tradition.
activity, and they do it.
Oh, okay.
That is
Same
the
for
only
me. Same for
time.
me. Same for me.
So
Stock-
we've
well, I
always
find that
done
stocking
it at my
stuffers are
house.
very like. Well, I was about to say, like you said, like if it's something you do at your house, it's not a family tradition for me, and you wouldn't do it for friends.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like stocking stuffers specifically, like the idea of having little
stocking.
tidbits to give.
That's very much with your family.
That's a
in
family
in
thing.
the fireplace. But you were going to say, Angela, that you've always done
Yeah.
it because
Yes, our family has always done it. And like you said, it's a family thing. But having that said, it was a very specific purpose, the stocking stuffers.
Uh-huh.
So when it
Oh.
came to presents on Christmas morning, me and my sister were never allowed to touch presents until everybody was awake.
Right.
The stockings, on the other hand, you were allowed to raid your stocking as soon as you woke up. The idea being, this gave me and my sister something to do and something to be excited for while my parents were still sleeping in.
Yeah, they didn't have to wake up at
That
6
was a
o'clock
trade.
to
No,
open,
that was a
open
trade-off.
presents.
They bought their sanity. for
Yeah,
the-
they bought
Exactly.
they
by
bought
getting
their
to
Christmas sleep in.
for like an extra half hour or something.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But for the stocking stuffers specifically, usually it's like candies, like one thing my mom loves to do.
Chocolate.
You can get this Dutch chocolate that is
Chocolate.
in the shape of a letter, so she'll always get someone's first initial, the first letter of their
The
first
first name.
name, in chocolate for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other things like Terry's chocolate oranges are
Yeah.
Mm.
a very traditional stocking stuffer.
I know some people
and then-
don't
Delicious.
like them, but
I
I've
buy
never
them
minded
just
them.
for fun.
If you don't like
They're not,
yours,
like, the
I'll
best
eat them for
quality.
you because I like them. Those were my
Yeah.
favorite as a kid. So if you don't like them,
tasty enough.
you're totally valid. Like they're very mid chocolate, but
They're
They're
good
they're
enough.
not fancy.
Yeah,
they're
they're
just
very mid.
my favorite grocery store chocolate.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. And then like mini Toblerones are also really great for that.
Oh yes.
But then like you'll get
Small
into
Toblerones.
other small gifts. Like any kind of small gift that's
Trinkets.
usually cheap, small. So like flashlights, just a fancy little flashlights or pens or stationery
Pop
can
sockets.
be really good.
Or keychains.
You know,
Back when I
okay,
worked at the Source, the little impulse buys that we used to have at the counter, best
Mhm.
stocking stuffers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the point for sure. I just had a sad moment just now from
Uh-huh.
when you were saying all those things about like, oh, like you get little flashlights and doohickeys and little like just small
Trinkets.
gadgety things
Trinkets.
and trinkets and right. And then I don't want to like sound too contrived about this, but like I miss being a child in that sense where you
Get excited
were
for those little things.
yeah, you could get excited, or you were
You could get excited
like
over a
easily
flashlight.
much more easily amused. Like I
You
have
get a laser
flashlights.
pointer, and then you're playing with it for the other
Yeah.
rest of the day.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, like I definitely like, you know, growing up, I've always been like a curious person, so little toys
Yeah.
and trinkets and stuff like that were always like fun.
Exciting. It's
But,
like a little
like-
puzzle where you kind of entertain yourself with, you
Yeah,
know,
but,
that
like,
little laser
now-
pointer.
If someone gave me a laser pointer, I'd be like, cool for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, well,
And-
not only that, I would be like, this is cool, and then I'd be like, oh my god, where the heck am I gonna like put this?
Yeah, or like what is this for?
What am I gonna
Or,
do with
you know
this?
what I mean?
Yeah. Instead
Like,
of just being like, oh
it's-
my
it's
god,
like-
it's a thing. Let me just
It's
enjoy
adult
the thing.
cynicism,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, same.
Makes me sad because I realize I'm definitely at that point where it's like, I think that's why it's almost nice to have kids. Like none of us have kids, and I
Yeah,
don't think
it's
anyone's
nice
really
to
planning,
have. It's
but,
nice
like,
to
but
enjoy.
you live through their you live
excitement.
vicariously.
Yeah, through their
Yeah.
excitement and their joy and their curiosity, definitely. Like,
me
like-
your youthfulness, child. I want
I want it.
creative.
Well, because like
you know,
the
easily amused
tradition,
brain.
the tradition in my family growing up, because Christmas is a huge deal in my family's culture. That is like one of the biggest. It's one of the two big holidays, and so the tradition was always Christmas Eve was mostly for the adults. That was when you would go to aunt and uncle's house, you would go to the family friend's house, and you would bring, you know, the family gift of like,
Sure.
you know, and that might be a gift basket, or it might be something for the house, or, you know, it might even just be a card and a gift card or a bottle of wine or whatever. But it was for the adults. It was for the adults to give like from one family
Sure,
to another
of
gift.
course.
And then, you know, it's also an opportunity for the kids to play. Like the kids get to hang out. And so I would play with all my little cousins and stuff. And so the rule was that on Christmas Eve, you got to open one present. You got to choose. You could pick the one present you wanted to open that was for you. And you would open it. And then on Christmas morning, you had to wait. Everybody had to be awake. And everybody had to eat breakfast. And then you could open all the other presents. And because, you know, grandma gives you a present, and, you know, auntie and uncle give you a present, and so on and so forth. Because it was all, gift giving is really, it's about the children, right? It's about the kids.
Yeah.
It's not about the adults.
Because the adults, as we know now, it's like you basically, if there's something you really wanted, you already buy it.
You
for
would already
yourself,
go
bought it for
get it.
yourself.
and you don't expect anyone else to buy it for you.
Exactly.
Generally
No.
speaking, unless it's like your
Exactly.
significant other.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
even then, that usually is the work of you telling your significant other.
I would
thing that
specifically
you
like
want.
this thing. Or
Yes.
or it's, I've seen this thing, I know my significant other would really, really enjoy this, so I'm gonna pick it out for them. Yeah, definitely. And so as a kid, it's all about the kids' joy. And I am very much in the same boat where like my parents still will ask me, you know, what do you want for Christmas? And it's always like, I don't know, because it's like the things that I want are things that I'm either going to save up for myself and get, or things that I'm going to buy for myself, or like things that I don't want to ask another person to buy me. Like, it's like,
True.
because it's too expensive, right? It's like, one of the biggest things is I'm going to go on a trip to Japan next year. I don't want someone to buy me the Japan tickets. Like, that's too much money. I don't want someone to feel obligated to give me that gift.
I want you to buy me the entire country of Japan.
Oh, God, I wish someone could buy me an entire
I mean,
country.
yen's pretty cheap. The yen's pretty low.
That's
right
true,
now.
it's pretty
so
low.
it's yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So when it comes to like, that's the one nice thing about being adults is there's no expectation of gift giving. But I do like gift giving. And so what I tend to do is, because I like gift giving, but I also don't like to hit people with the obligation of, oh no, Dio got me a gift, I need to give them a gift back,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
so what I tend to do is like, if I buy a gift for someone, I won't tell them what it is, but I will try and keep the cost of the gift low, right? Like, I'll try and keep it like a $10 gift, like a $15 gift, like a low amount of money that is like not super impactful. And I'll tell the person in advance. Like, I have one friend, I bought a gift for her for Christmas at Yokai Walk.
Oh, that's good.
Right. And so it's like I have it wrapped and I'm like, hey, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I saw this thing and I would really like to get you a gift this year. So I got you this thing. It's only about $10, but I did get you a gift. You don't have to give me anything back, but if you want to, I understand. And that way, you know, it's like you have, you know, for people who do feel like I just socially feel obligated that I have to give something back, they have time. And they also know that it's like, you know, I'm not expecting you to go get me something that's like $50 or $100 or $200. Like, I just got you a little trinket. And if you want to exchange that, I also try and make it easy for people. I'm like, you don't have to go get me a physical object because I don't really want most physical objects. But you know, if you want to get me a nice beer that I haven't had before, I would love that. If you want to get me tea or coffee, like the biggest thing is like, if you get me food of any kind, like, great, I'm happy. So, well, and that makes it easy budget wise.
When you mention that, when you mention something like giving someone food, I don't know what I'm really doing for like physical gifts for people who are like immediately around me that much. So I think, but like something that I think people sort of just generally appreciate is like experiences.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think, and especially after the last few years of like not being able to celebrate too often together, and you know, COVID rates are skyrocketing again, but whatever.
It's nice to
supposed to be more protected and safe around this point
in time, but it is nice to the gift of hanging out for food or hanging out for coffee is like, I was like really special.
Yeah, like something I kind of just wanted to do is just like how like it, you know, go out for food with people and then either you maybe just like take care of the bill kind of thing.
Yeah, and like those are really nice gifts. Like I love those kinds of gifts.
Yeah, and that kind of gift can't even really make people feel too indebted to you, if that makes sense.
Exactly, because there's always another, like, you know, if I feel indebted that you took me out for lunch or for coffee, there's always another opportunity that we can go out for coffee and lunch and I can return the favor another day, like on your birthday or another special occasion. Yeah, I like those too. The other thing I really like doing with adult friends that has been really enjoyable is card exchanges. I've really enjoyed doing cards because cards are like, they're very low commitment. They're very low cost, but they're very high. They're high effort and they're a high level of like love,
personalization
and yeah, that's what I'm looking for. It's a high level of personalization, right? It's like you took the time out of your life to, even if it's just a little message, to write something in there and to think of me and to put it in an envelope and make sure it got to me. You cared, right? It's because like the cost of a card is what, like including like if you drop it in a post office box, it's what, like $1.50, maybe $2 for the card.
It depends if you make your own card or if you buy cards. Because cards, if you buy a box of cards, like, then that's not too expensive. But if you buy one individual cards, or individual cards are like $8.
That's true. Individual cards are like $8. So it depends.
Not that that's a lot of money, but like I'm not even saying about it adding up. I'm saying that the actual piece of cardboard or whatever it meant, cardstock, is like the expense. And then it's like, fine, like I'll, you know, write nice notes and like, you know, put stickers and stationery. Yeah,
it's the fact that it's like the actual expense, like no matter what it is, whether it's an individual card or a box of cards, it's probably like less than $10. Like it's not a big expensive gift, but you've taken the time to not only think about the person, you've taken the time to go pick out a card for them or a box of cards or whatever and address it to them. Like it's the thought of, you cared and thought about me enough that you wanted me to have this. Like
I need to work on my card list.
You wanted me to know that you were thinking of me. And it's like, that's really sweet. And so I like doing that. I every year in various discords that I'm in, especially because like I have international friends who I can't hang out with, we'll do
sounds like quitter talk,
right? Well, exactly. But we'll do like Secret Santas. And usually what I do when I organize Secret Santas is I usually do a tiered system which is that I do a card tier and a gift tier. And that way, you know, for people, because of course, people around the world have different finances, different budget, their currency is worth different. You know, like saying the present should be under 20 US dollars means something different for someone in Canada versus someone in South America versus someone in the United Kingdom, right? So it's like I always do the card tier, because then the card tier is like, hey, if you are worried about budget, or, you know, if you can't, you know, if expenses is something that you don't want to add to your stress this holiday season, great. You can still participate. We'll match card people with card people, and people who want to exchange a physical gift can exchange physical gifts if they want. And I really enjoy that as an adult, because it's really fun. And I also make the present exchanging part easy by I make people fill out a very long, lengthy, complicated form to explicitly outline things they want, things they do not want, so that the gift giver doesn't have to think too hard. Make it easy for people to get the things they want.
That's way more well thought out than mine. I usually just give people gifts randomly, and I don't give them a warning.
I love
You're
that.
a gift ninja.
I
You're the
also
gift
don't
ninja.
gift specifically for occasions. If I don't know. I have a really hard time correlating gift giving specifically to an occasion. If I come across something that is just perfect for someone, I'll just get it for them.
It's your love language. It's I love
will
you. I
bewilder
think you
them.
need this thing. You are going to have this thing because I know you want it. I know you need it, and you are simply going to have it. That's kind of adorable. That's actually really sweet. Like, that's kind of lovely in its own way.
Yeah, I think I've done the same in the past, Nancy, where it's like I don't necessarily always go into the gift giving season thinking about like there are definitely core people I get gifts for, but a lot of the times it'll be like, if I see something and I think it really, really suits the person in my mind, and it's like, you know, reasonably affordable, of course, then I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't mind at all to get someone a gift. But I definitely have gift ninjas in the past. Not trying to make anyone feel like weird or awkward when they receive something, but definitely
I just thought of you. I think
Yeah,
you would
like,
benefit from this thing.
it's
Just take it. It's not an obligation.
Exactly.
There's no ulterior motive here. I just care about you.
Yeah.
That reminds
This
me
works
of the
for you.
time we went to KBBQ and Nancy was like, Angelo, here's this perfume. It smells like a lumberyard and vanilla.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
happens.
Nancy is a gift giver. Like that, and that's it's a very like precious way of communicating love, because I think a lot of the hesitation, I think, as adults in gift exchange is like, you can't tell if you can't tell where it's just gift giving for the sake of gifting versus a social obligation. And for people, I think, like Nancy, where giving gifts is like how they show their love, it isn't a social obligation. It's just, I'm giving you a gift because I love you.
Yeah, and I don't expect it
You
back.
don't expect it
either.
back.
Like it's fine. Like
That's Santa
and like
Claus.
gifts
My
aren't
God.
always about physical items either. Like
Yeah.
having the gift of time together is really important to me.
Yes.
So going out for KBBQ
Is a gift.
is a welcome experience at any time.
Is this
and,
a
like-
hint?
More than
We have
anything.
to go out for cake.
I just like spending time with friends.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
It's
that's the biggest thing.
Weird.
Yeah.
That is, I've never heard of that. You're gonna have to tell me.
You
more.
like socializing with people that you like?
Yes.
You're gonna have to tell me more.
Weird.
on
You,
the next
you would like
episode.
to subscribe to my newsletter?
Yeah.
Understandable.
Please text yes for more information.
But yes, more to come for future episodes.
Indeed.
Maybe we'll even have a surprise gift episode. Gasp.
Gifts.
Where the obligation is that you'll have to listen. Gasp.
Oh my gosh. Gasp.
It could be as soon as next week.
Oh my
My
goodness.
God. Thanks for joining. It is end of November, so we will be full force into the holiday month that is December and the hell that swirls around that. But
The
Indeed.
next episode is on the something of Christmas.
Indeed.
miss.
So
Yeah.
look forward to
I
it.
think the next episode we'll be talking a little bit about the fall anime reviews.
Yes, indeed.
'Cause I think
'cause
we gotta
there's-
get into
there's
winter
fall
anime
weeb
soon.
stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
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 Weebery abounds. All right, take
Yay.
care.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.